Hey guys, so this is a review of the Dell XPS 15 2-in-1 9575 model to be specific, and I'm going to do a very realistic, real life, real world use kind of video because this is my primary laptop and I'm just going to share my experience with it instead of just blurring out specs. But to just go over the basic specs, this does have the 8th generation Intel Core G processor, either i7 or i5, and they're both 4 cores. And G processor is a brand new processor from Intel, and this either comes in 256 or 512, and this has Radeon RX Vega MGL graphics with 4 gigabytes of graphics memory. So this is the Intel G processor is actually kind of a combination with the Radeon AMD Radeon graphics card and GPU. So that's basically a new thing. And apparently the GPU, the Radeon RX Vega MGL graphics performs just about as well as the NVIDIA GeForce GTX 1050, and it actually performs slightly better than that, but slightly worse than 1050 Ti. So that's just the basic specs. I'm going to get into the real world usage because I have been using this for over a month or two now, and it's been pretty great. So first things first, I'm going to go over the display. So the display is, my model is a 1080p version. I did not go for the 4K version because not only because it was more expensive, that wasn't really my main reason why I didn't go for it. The main reason was I thought it would take up too much battery life away from this amazing laptop. It's pushing so much more pixels than what 1080p is pushing, so I just decided to stick with 1080p. And it is a 15-inch laptop. You probably can't tell the difference, even it'll be marginal difference at the best. But the display still looks amazing. I actually upgraded from the HP Spectre 13-inch, and the display is just so much better than the HP that I just was really stunned by the display. It is, to be honest, if you're coming from anything like non-Dell laptop like MacBook or anything like that, I'm sure you'll be very stunned by the display. It's amazing. So let's talk about the battery life. Another very important aspect of a laptop that I take into a lot of consideration, and this laptop lasts me the whole day actually, and I'm a pretty heavy user. I'd say I do a lot of Google Docs, Google Drive stuff, a lot of internet browsing as well, and I don't really play games, but I do some intensive tasks such as CAD, specifically Autodesk Inventor. I do use like messaging apps like Discord pretty frequently, and the battery, it lasts me a whole day, which is good. I would say if you do like 1 hour of Google Drive, or like you're editing a document for like an hour, it'll drain like maybe 15% of the battery for maybe 20% of the battery for 1 hour. That seems about right. But it does last a full day for me, so that's very good. Even if it doesn't, the charging brick isn't all that big. Also, it's using USB-C, so if any other laptop also charges via USB-C, like the MacBook or pretty much every other laptop these days, then you can just use someone else's laptop charger, and hopefully it fits. They have a USB-C port. So yeah. The next important part is the trackpad and the keyboard. So this laptop has actually caused a little bit of I guess it's a little bit weird because the keyboard has this new technology that Dell calls maglev. And to be honest, it's been an amazing experience typing on this keyboard. I'm not, just to let you guys know, I am not like a mechanical keyboard person, or nor am I a keyboard enthusiast. And I used to just use I'm just the type of person who uses any type of keyboard and just adapts to it. And so I used to use a pretty nice, in my opinion, it was pretty nice HP Spectre keyboard, and I thought that was really nice. But when I switched over to this one, it was just amazing, because it's super tactile, it's super clicky, it sounds really good in my opinion. It's sort of like a very very mini version of a mechanical keyboard because it's so clicky, and it makes a clicky noise when I type. So, and it also actually improved my typing speed score, which was very interesting, and it just shows how much easier it is to type on. It's very satisfying. So that's just like a quick example of how it sounds like the keyboard. Now, one thing I have to say about the keyboard, however, it does collect a lot of dust, like pretty much all keyboards do. But the biggest problem I see with it is the spacebar. I don't know if it's just my unit, but whenever I press the spacebar, it makes a louder noise than all the other keys around it. That's the spacebar. That's the Alt key. See, it's a little bit loud, but the spacebar is weirdly more, it requires more pressure. It feels weird. I thought it actually might have been my unit hardware problem, but I think I looked it up on like Reddit, and apparently other people are having this problem too, so I'm assuming that it's just a widespread thing throughout the entire Dell XPS 15 2-in-1 lineup. So, this should have been really the first thing I talked about, but the build quality and design of the laptop. In my opinion, this is one of the better looking laptops, and so in the front, it has a very nice like aluminum. It's very smooth, and the bottom, it's more aluminum, and it has two like lined feet, and I love it because it's not gonna come off like what my HP Spectre feet did when they came off. That was pretty awful. And the hinge is also made of aluminum, which is very nice. And the laptop is, I would say it's heavy, but it's not all that heavy. I mean, it's like, I don't remember the exact like number, but I do not remember. I'll put that in the link. I'll put that in the description, the weight, because I don't remember at this moment. One weird quirk about the design, I guess, is that it has like a slant right here, and so does right in the front. It's kind of weird, and I mean, it's not that weird, but it's just something to point out. And this white line strip here also, I mean, it makes it look pretty unique and nice. Overall, I like the color of it too, silver. So when you open it up, when you turn it on, it actually has a face scan, and to be honest, it's worked tremendously well. It never fails, for at least for me. And if it does fail for whatever reason, I just use the fingerprint scanner here, that also works tremendously well. I rarely even use the fingerprint scanner because the Windows Hello is so fast and quick. So that's very good. I thought that was a really nice feature. Now going back to the trackpad is really big. It's It's not only wide, but it's also very tall, so it's very easy to use. I mean, I really have no complaints with the trackpad. It's very nice. One thing I'd say, it collects too much dust, but I'm pretty sure that's with like every other laptop. But I feel like this one collects a little bit more dust. Back to build quality. The inside has this carbon fiber look, and the texture is very soft touch and rubbery almost. It's very very soft touch. I have touched a Dell XPS 13 before, and it's not as like soft touch feeling as this one. I feel like this the XPS 15 2-in-1 is especially softer here for whatever reason, but that also makes the typing experience nicer because where you rest, it's really soft and it feels really nice. It feels like rubber. It just feels really nice. One complaint I do have though is the fact that there is a stain right here. I thought you guys can see it. It's a very small stain, but it bugs me. I'm pretty sure it's from a marker. I've tried everything to get it off. It won't come off. So that's one thing, kind of like a issue with these. I guess that's the only complaint I have. If these were aluminum, I would have been able to wipe it off. Going to the screen on build quality, the screen flex is pretty much minimal, and obviously those bezels are very very thin. They're actually even thinner than the traditional XPS 15s, and they just look stunning. The bottom bezel is a bit thick, but I don't really mind it because everything else is just so thin. Overall, the design is, in my opinion, excellent. Everything is excellent. The keyboard is good. Trackpad, everything. The design's good, and yeah. So now, probably one of the more important and like what people really want to know is the speed of the laptop. I've had no issues with the speed or like having GPU crashes or whatever, but it's very fast. It's very very fast. It is way faster than the previous laptop that I owned, the HP Spectre 13, which had a U processor. Upgrading to a G processor with more cores, with 4 cores, has been really like a really good experience for me because everything's just in general faster, and especially with the AMD Radeon Vega M GPU, it makes 3D modeling CADing very very quick, very fast loading, and it's just been a really pleasant experience. And opening up apps and opening up a bunch of Chrome tabs also works pretty well. I do have the 8GB model. I really really wish that I had gotten the 16GB model because you cannot replace the RAM on this particular device, on this model, because it's all soldered on. So yeah, 8GB kind of like bugs me, but I rarely ever even use like 8 fully, so I don't think it matters that much. So yeah, so that's been my like kind of real world usage review of the Dell XPS 15 2-in-1. I hope you guys found this useful. I think it's, I don't know, I think it's a good way to communicate with you guys through how this is like I use it every day. It's like my main technology for the entire day besides my phone, which is very crucial at this point. Oh, and I forgot to mention 4 USB-C ports, 2 on the side, and there's also a headphone jack here, and 2 on this side. It's hard to see, but trust me, there are 2, and there's a micro USB, and there is this battery indicator that I actually never use, but I guess it's a good touch. So yeah, so that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and give it a thumbs up, and please subscribe.